online shopping and how to make it safe for you, to avoid scams, to avoid all of these things that we've been talking about. We've seen people come online and complain that they ordered this and then they got this other thing. We've seen a lot of memes online. Gabriela, one of my guests here, is already laughing at what we want to discuss. I'm joined by Gabriela Kanja from BDDL.O and, of course, Alphonce Juma. Gentleman, lady, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, great. So I was born a gentleman. I'm going to start with the lady who is on my left. Everyone now has an offer online. They're offering 40% off on buy this, buy that. But really, how do you differentiate between what is legitimate and what is not, Gabriela?
I think there are a couple of ways you can look at that. Some of the ways are easy in terms of identifying, visually. Okay. And then other things are, it's really a process of building trust. So one thing we learn about, online shopping is that several brands have tried to sell products online. We have so many e-commerce stores selling things left, right, and center. But you'll find that a lot of these shopping experiences rely a lot on trust. And this comes as a result of, having been in the market long enough, having met your clients' expectations, having constantly delivered on what you promise. And I think one of the ways that you could easily tell if you were just to look at it from a branding perspective would be, what are people saying about these brands? Are there any user reviews about some of these platforms or some of these Instagram pages or websites that people are buying items from? And then what are the protocols around, say, a return policy? Because they expect that you've not seen the item. Some sort of warranty. Exactly, some sort of guarantee that in the event it doesn't fit, or in the event say you prefer a different color, can you have, say, at 12 to 48, sometimes some stores go all the way until 72 hours. And that just really helps you to show that these guys are really serious about what they're doing. They really care a lot about their customers, so they're willing to invest a bit more in that customer experience just to make it work for their users. The other things, for example, if you're buying from a website where you can look out for security features on the website for you to really know if this is a genuine or legitimate platform you're buying from or not.
What are some of those security features that we should look out for when you're buying online?
I think one of the easiest and most obvious ones would be to look at the address. So the URL, the one that carries the address of the website. So if it reads HTTPS versus HTTP, the S stands for secure. Secure, okay. So it gives you some level of comfort that, okay, this is something, it's a secure website.
You're dealing with a safe website.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah.
Alphonse,
I can buy a phone online, I can buy a laptop online, I can buy literally everything online. But literally is literally, as in there is a stop. There's somewhere that we need to put a stop. What shouldn't be bought online at all costs?
Before even I answer your question, I think I've been one of the victims when it comes to online scamming.
Umetendwa. Sorry. So character development. Okay, let me hear your story.
Yeah, so I think the worst place where most of them are always located is in just somewhere along. There are many locations though. But for ours is somebody who placed an order on our platform. Our platform is Mybigorder.com.
Okay.
So what happened is, of course, as a marketplace, you would invite a number of vendors to sell on your platform. And then what happened is somebody placed an order, and he placed an order for 3 phones, and they were all totaling to around 70,000. So what they normally do is, when they place the order, they use some kind of psychology to just rush you into, making the delivery. So that's what we did is we made the delivery. Of course, you have to connect to the logistics guy who does the delivery. So immediately that guy was at some building just within TRM. Okay. And then what they do is, the guy comes well dressed. And then he comes, that guy
he
was
convinces
smart.
you.
Yeah. And then he says, the check is just up here, let's go. And then once you have the payments are all there, even it can even come with a check. Like for a guy who was very well dressed. And then he came, he told this guy to pack the motorbike. Okay. And then they were to go. Then immediately, just in between the lifts, he just disappeared. So what happened next was what was what really surprised us. We went to the police and reported. And then we were told there that, of course, we went and looked at even the CCTV. and you can clearly see everything. But when we made this report, we were told that these guys are all known, and even the police are trying to look for them, and they have not been found. Actually, the same day, somebody had been robbed of, what he had used to invest in cameras, and that was like he had stopped employment, and that's what the business he was doing, and he had been
surviving one.
But you can't get help because you're told it's a very big network. For our case, the police told us, as we talk right now, your phone is in Uganda. And it was within a very small span of time.
Like how long? 12 hours or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually we did the following day, and we were told it's already very far.
It's far.
It's very far.
Oh no, sorry. But then really, you are an online platform provider for e-commerce. How then do you ensure that the people who are selling on your platform are actually legitimate people?
So the first thing you always need to do is make sure that this person really owns the product. Because like when COVID came, most of the people closed their businesses, and then now everyone says you're working from home. So I can literally sell from home. So when there are some people who would pretend and say, their shops are all at home. So in such a case, when there is a scam, you can't trace this person. Sure. Yeah. So the first thing you always do is to make sure you're dealing with very legit people, because immediately actually in e-commerce, especially in your marketplace, you got to be very, very careful, because at any given time, anyone in that ecosystem, the ecosystem is the seller. There's first of all the seller, then there is the buyer, the person who is buying, and then there is a logistics person, and any one of them can be a bad boy, can con anyone. I think just this time, if you can remember very well, there is one company, I may not mention the name, but they placed very good offers on the internet.
Yes.
It was appliances, something Nairobi and then appliances. They placed very good offers, and we were wondering, those TVs were cheap.
Oh no,
very cheap. And then for everyone who made those offers, you were just making the payments, and then they are supposed to deliver. Immediately after that, they went underground.
They went under.
Till today. People never received.
Character development.
Millions. Yeah.
Brand level.
Gabriela, I mean, you've listened to that story.
Yeah.
There are crazy offers right now going on. 40% or 50% off. How do you know what is, how do you know what is legit and what is not?
I think it's a bit hard to tell, just like from face value. And the reason is everybody is trying to do a really good job at making themselves look like the most genuine person online. Like just what Alphonce mentioned. It's interesting because you must think of it as an ecosystem. So, sometimes, for example, in our line of work, so at BDDL, we really help brands in terms of their positioning, with their marketing and advertising activities and the likes. And part of it involves also driving their e-commerce products. And one of the things that we really emphasize on is we have to meet our client expectations and meet our promises. So we think about it from a brand perspective. So Alphonce thinks about it from a vendor's perspective, that he may end up getting a buyer who is not being legitimate, who wants to run away with their monies, and what happens as a result of that. So it's a bit hard to tell from, like face value. But I think one of the things, like I emphasized a bit earlier, would be to look out for the track record of some of these companies. And then to also see, are they open to payment on delivery? Because some who emphasize and insist on, for example, the check is here, or I will send you the cash at this point. It's a bit, it shows that there's a bit, there could be a bit of malice or like shortcuts around there. So, and in most cases, it's sometimes it's a gut feeling. It's that thing you feel when I call this person, does the border guy sound like, okay, he's genuine, he's coming for this product? Or does the shop attendant or the vendor that I'm buying the items from, are they willing to go the extra mile and listen to what I need or what I would want adjusted or changed as a customer? And some of those checkers are not easy to tell when you're buying off a platform. It's really about the experience and the interaction you're having with whoever is selling it to you.
Great.
Yeah.
We're almost winding up the show, but we want to listen from you, the audience, really. I mean, what has your shopping experience online been like? Alphonce, once again, what wouldn't you buy online?
For me, I would buy anything online, so long as I'm very sure of the person. Just like she said about the trust. Actually, from what happened to us, the case we had, we decided to put a face to everything. So with online marketplace, what we decided to do was to do a number of things. First of all, we've even set physical marketplaces within counties and within constituencies. And, sometimes it's really difficult for you to know who is going to scam who, because as a buyer or as a seller or as the customer who is going to buy, you got to be very, very careful on the internet. And there's something that we've done from that time that we got hit. What we decided to do was to, put our e-commerce or our marketplace within a social media platform that we've done called Palscity. And nowadays, it's so easy because so long as you're able to know the profile of someone, so long as you're able to build on that trust, then it becomes so easy for you. Yeah.
Great. Wambui Susan says online that my online shopping experience has been so far good due to the convenience it brings, though I have been scammed once when buying shoes online. From that experience, I'm more keen on online reviews and paying on delivery, just as you had said. The other issue also is with the digital footprint. You get to click on something and then time and again they bring you a lot of these adverts. Your browser brings you a lot of... Talk to us about that. How do they know your mind? Or how do they know that this is what you've been looking for?
Yeah, so that's really about the work that Google does in terms of tracking our activities and our journeys and different websites online. And most people were not aware of that until e-commerce became big. Because you notice that on one day, perhaps you search for happy socks. And the next thing you're getting gift shops selling happy socks. You're getting people recommending happy socks for other people. You're getting offers on happy socks and you're wondering what is going on. So it's really about Google studying our patterns and understanding and seeing what our journey online is and then recommending products based off of that. But then what has been happening of late is that they've been changing some of these policies. So what we are seeing now is that they want to eliminate these third-party cookies that allow them access to that information. And what they want to do now is anonymize the data, so create audience cohorts that don't necessarily tie you to an activity you had on a previous website. There's still a bit of haziness around how exactly it's going to work and what that will mean for advertisers and customer experiences as well. But it's one of those things where we know, there's a lot of tracking going on, but there are a lot of issues also around privacy. So it's also being reflected on in that regard.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. This was Tech File. We have been talking about the online platform and how you can ensure that you are having a safe online shopping experience. I've been speaking to Gabriela Kanja, the CEO of BDDL, and Alphonce Juma, CEO of Palscity, and of course co-founder of Oracom Group. I have been Brian Jodotieno. Ken Mijungu is up next with News Hour. Good evening and enjoy the rest of your viewing.
KTN News. Get the whole story.